Thanks to some viewer suggestions, we have a new solution to drinking water in the van, and it doesn't involve plastic. We used to store all of our drinking water in the Dometic jug, which we really like, especially its form factor and size, nice handle, great features, but unfortunately, it's plastic. We actually talked to Dometic at the Overland Expo, but unfortunately, they have no plans for making a stainless steel version. This is the Cornelius Keg, or Corny Keg for short. These are very popular with home brewers, and if you're old enough, you may have seen these attached to soda fountain machines. We're going to go over all the features of this keg and show you how we filter drinking water while off-grid, so we can stay out even longer. If you're looking for a plastic-free, compact water storage solution, this might be worth considering. You have found Explorer Trek Adventure with Kelly and Greg. We cover everything camping from backpacking to adventure vans.
I did watch one video, and there's an Overlander, I'll put a link down here for it, but he runs these exclusively for his entire water system, and he would have them daisy chained together. That was his entire system. They were pressurized, super fancy. We're not doing that, we just run one single container. Moving to this style of container, we didn't want to lose any of that extra functionality that the Dometic jug offered. One of the big things I didn't want to lose was having that big opening port to be able to jam your hand in there and clean it. And these have a nice big hole. You can see we still have about a third water left. I don't really want to stick it in there, but it's big enough so you can stick your hand in there and actually clean these. And that's like the primary reason why we're not using the big tank in the van. They're super hard to clean. You got to pump a bunch of bleach through them. You're going to waste at least 30, 40 gallons of water running all the water through there. Where this, we can clean this specifically. Before I put the lid back on, you can see that these kegs have these tube posts. On this side, you can see there's nothing connected to it in there. But on this side, you can see that there's actually a stainless steel pipe runs, and it runs all the way to the bottom. The Dometic jug had a similar feature. It had a tube that went down to the bottom, but this is a stainless steel tube that goes to the bottom. And these lids are very nice and secure, but obviously because these are normally under pressure, but we are not going to pressurize ours. The Dometic jug had two nice handles. You could easily pick it up and move it around. I really like these handles as well. They're like these black plastic, but you can see I can actually bend this. So it's a softer plastic, which is really nice to pick up. And on the bottom, they have the same black rubber. Awesome part about this is that when you slam it down on the ground, that rubber absorbs some of that shock, and so it doesn't slam. And in theory, it's gonna protect your vehicle a little bit. We're baking in the sun, so let's move up to the van. I think the default ones are 5 gallon. I think they're about the same distance around, but they're quite a bit taller. And then you have the half kegs, which are 2.5 gallons. For whatever reason, this company made a 3 gallon. And I picked this one because it fits under our bed still, and it's about the same size as the Dometic jug. If you look out here, I don't know if you'll be able to see them. There's a pair of loons out there. There's a sign down at the boat ramp that explains that these loons are protected. And they said in Montana, there's basically 60 breeding pairs of loons, which in the whole state of Montana, 60 is not very many. But then they were saying there's a problem because the chicks are not surviving. Only like 30 of them are surviving per year. So that number is just gonna keep going down. So if you see loons, you're lucky to see them, and then also stay away from them. Besides the rubber handles on the top and bottom, the tank itself is made from a food-safe stainless steel, so we're not gonna have to worry about our water being contaminated by the tank itself.
Originally, it came in this boring stainless steel color, but to be a true van lifer, you must immediately cover every surface with every sticker that you have. These are our go-to items for while we're camping here. I don't normally get bit by mosquitoes, and maybe Montana mosquitoes are different, but I have been bitten alive. I don't know if it's flies, spiders, or mosquitoes. I even have a bunch on my legs too. It actually is just itches like crazy. This location has been crazy for creatures. We actually had a frog out by us, the turtles, the eagles, you name it, we've seen them all, except for a bear or a cougar.
Still no big animals. We really like the Dometic Faucet. The battery lasts forever. It's got a little light, so when you're filling stuff up in the dark, you can see. It doesn't drip. I don't know how they did it, but it just doesn't drip, and it's easy to turn on and off. And so we picked up this tap, and this is basically just the normal keg tap, but we cut off the end, and then it now attaches to our faucet. It's really simple. The awesome part about this tank is it's got this built-in ball valve, and you just have to make sure you're connecting to the one that has the tube going down to the bottom when we have our faucet. we can pump water right out of the container. On the Dometic jug, it had a little screw top so you could basically let fresh air in so it wouldn't create an airlock in there. This one has a similar setup. It's got this pressure screw that you can unscrew a little bit to relieve some of that pressure and let fresh air in as you're pumping water out. The one thing this does not do is this has a magnetic base, and normally on the Dometic jug it would sit right on the top because it's flat. This one has nothing like that, so we've just been resting it in there. There is a little bit of lip, so there's somewhere for it to go.
Eventually we may hard mount this next to the sink, but for right now we're going to keep everything still portable. Empty, this container actually weighs a little over 8 pounds, so when it's fully loaded with water, we're talking about 30 pounds. Let me show you exactly where we keep it strapped down at in the van. Right back here in the corner, and we end up having a bungee cord that's hooked down to the D-ring on this end, and then there's another D-ring down here. And between the rubber feet and this bungee cord, this thing doesn't move at all.
This placement works great in the summertime, but the problem with the wintertime is there is a heater vent right here on the Revel, and there blows hot air basically directly onto your water tank. So I think we're gonna build some kind of small cabinet that'll run back here, and we'll have a place for this to store right inside that cabinet. And then we'll put an air deflector here so it'll shoot the hot air out into the main section. And that way our water will stay cool.
Let's talk about cleaning. We learned it mostly from brewers because it really is a beer keg. We actually used Star San, and it was such an easy process. This cleaning solution is concentrated, so it has a small container and it actually has a built-in measuring cup. So it's easy to keep it all together right inside the van. And we can use it to sanitize other things in the van as well. I measured out the amount I needed of Star San and I poured it right into the keg. Then I filled up with warm water. It needs at least 1 minute of contact time so that it's sanitizing. I actually used the water that was in the keg to do the lids. It gets very bubbly. The cleaning process is super easy as well. You just dump it out, let it dry. There is no need to rinse it.
We've been here long enough, we need to process more water to fill up our fresh water. We're not gonna use the water from the lake. We try to avoid lake water when at all possible, just especially in the summertime, to avoid any possibilities of toxic algae. But the van has fresh water in it.
On our way here, we actually stopped because there is a big sign that says water ahead on the mountain. And there was a spring water tap coming out of the mountainside. So we filled it up. We filled the van with that, so we're pretty confident it's pretty good. There is actually like 5 different people that stopped while we were there filling jugs from town. We're gonna use our RO filter to get some drinking water to fill up the keg. Then we're gonna use this other filter to grab some water from the lake to fill up the van's big water tank.
Here it comes, gonna start squirting out here. Does this for 30 seconds. As soon as this gets done, we're having to send Kelly in. She's gonna keep our input water flowing out of the van. We like to keep a TDS meter with us just to make sure our filter is doing what it's supposed to be doing. I checked the water coming out, the fresh water, that was at 11, which is good, it's under 50. And this is the garbage water coming out, or the bad water coming out. And it is at 374. 370. So it's going from 370 particulates down to 11. That's pretty good filtering. They're almost full. Now it's time to go fill the van. We're gonna disrupt our little turtle friends. Get some water from out here. Ooh, it's got some chunkies in there. This is why you filter your water. Those are little tiny bugs.
If you're thinking about going the keg route, you really should watch this other guy's video. He has a very cool setup. I'll put a link down in the description below for his video, along with what we are using. You can go watch this video next. You can find us at explorertrekadventure.com, and we'll see you next time.